This is the Dollemore Daily, and I'm Jesse Dollemore. I am so close to 500,000 subscribers. Please, if you haven't already subscribed, take part in the momentum to get me over the hump to 500,000. Thank you. It's only with your help that I'm going to be able to do that. Let's talk about Tommy Tuberville. You know, I used to say that John Cornyn, the senator from Texas, was the dumbest member of the United States Senate. But since I said that, there have been so many others who have joined the Senate that really he seems like a veritable genius compared to some of these others. I think now the leading contender for the most stupid member of the Senate is Tommy Tuberville, Alabama senator, former football coach, college football coach, a real winner, just a real genius. And I got some clips here. He was on with Caitlin Collins, who started her new show last night on CNN. I was going to do a separate video about how unhappy I was with the guests that she chose because they were just Republicans, just spouting propaganda. But I decided not to because actually she did a pretty good job of getting to a place where whether she gets the job done of outing him as the dumb shit that he is or leaving space for people like me to do so. So thank you, Caitlin. I appreciate it very much. If I have any advice, it would be don't have Republican propagandist fascists on and then have a panel of a liberal and a conservative debate what was just said. For what it's worth. Let's start with this little gem, though. This is something that irritates me. I don't want to get down into the weeds about how the sausage is made here, but usually I come down, pour myself a cup of coffee, and I look through the internet, decide, what am I going to talk about today? And this irritated me so much that I immediately sat down and just recorded a 46-second thing and tacked on the video and put it on TikTok and Instagram and all the places where you can put a little video, a little short. YouTube short. Right. I'm on YouTube. I did a short. And it was this. I've long called Republicans fake-triots. They are liars. They are hypocrites, but they are fake-triots. They act like they're waving their flags and their pocket constitutions and they love America and America first and make America great again and all of the nonsense. But it's only in word because indeed, there's nothing there, nothing to show for it. They're liars. They don't respect the troops. They don't respect our veterans like me. And this was a moment that really set me over the edge and forced me down into the studio early to get a short done. Watch this.
And so it's a tough situation. And there's nobody more military than me, Caitlin. My dad was military, career military. I'm all for the military.
And again, I will repeat what I said in the short. Nobody is more military than you, Tommy Tuberville, a man who never served a day in uniform? Nobody's more military than you? How about the 600 families who are waiting on promotions and their schedules to be freed so they can accept jobs at their new duty stations? How about the hundreds of thousands of veterans who are now benefiting from the PACT Act? Having their medical bills covered from being around toxic burn pits, the PACT Act that you voted against. So stop with the lip service, flapping that hole underneath your nose about how nobody's more military than me, Caitlin. Shut up. Just shut up. Put your stupid money where your mouth is. Put your vote where your mouth is. You fake-triot. Now let's get to the crux of what went down yesterday, because Tommy Tuberville has been, she'll play the clip, she'll intro it, where he says that white nationalists, well, they just sound like Americans to me. With all of the problems we have in America right now, at the hands of white nationalists and neo-Nazis and proto-fascists, we have them marching through Washington, D.C., just blocks away from where I live. And he wants to say, well, they just look like good Americans to me. And she held his feet to the fire on this comment, especially when juxtaposed against his opposition to military promotions because of abortion policy. Watch her intro the segment.
I do want to give you a chance to clarify some comments you made recently on white nationalists serving in the military. For those who are watching, if they haven't heard your remarks, this is what you said.
Do you believe they should allow white nationalists in the military?
Well, they call them that. I call them Americans.
Do you want to explain those comments, Senator?
Yeah, first of all, I'm totally against any type of racism, okay? I was a football coach for 40 years, and I dealt and had opportunity to be around more minorities than anybody up here on this hill. But when our military has been attacked, was being attacked after 9/11, after January the 6th, and that was my first day on the Senate floor, I thought it was outrageous of what senators from the Democratic side, Chuck Schumer said on the floor that night, calling out people, calling people racist, calling people nationalists, white nationalists. White nationalists is just another word that they want to use other than racism. I'm totally against anything to do with racism. But the thing about being a white nationalist is just a cover word for the Democrats now, where they can use it to try to make people mad across the country, identity politics. I'm totally against that. But I'm for the American people. I'm for military. I'm for Christian conservatives, Democrats, whoever wants to be in the military to fight for this country, to protect this country. That's what it's all about.
So it's one of two things. Either my name calling is correct and he is an abject dumb shit. He is a cognitively impaired individual, or he's a liar and is in league with white nationalists to defend them, because it's not hard to understand what the definition, which we're going to get to, because I got another clip where he just proves himself to be a fumbling goober on this interview with Caitlin Collins. Watch how this ended up.
Conservatives, Democrats, whoever wants to be in the military to fight for this country, to protect this country. That's what it's all about.
But just to be clear, you agree that white nationalists should not be serving in the U.S. military. Is that what you're saying?
If people think that a white nationalist is a racist, I agree with that. I agree they should.
A white nationalist is someone who believes that the white race is superior to other races.
Well, that's some people's opinion. And I don't think,
That's
I mean,
not
a lot.
opinion.
Pardon?
What's your opinion?
My opinion of a white nationalist, if somebody wants to call him white nationalist, to me is an American. It's an American. Now, if that white nationalist is a racist, I'm totally against anything that they want to do, because I am 110% against racism. But I want somebody that's in our military, that's strong, that believes in this country, that's an American, that will fight along anybody, whether it's a man or woman, black or white, red, it doesn't make any difference. And so I'm totally against identity politics. I think it's ruining this country, and I think that Democrats ought to be ashamed for how they're doing this, because it's dividing this country and it's making this country weaker every day.
But that's not identity politics. You said a white nationalist is an American.
It is identity politics.
You said a white nationalist is an American, but a white nationalist is someone who believes horrific things. Do you really think that's someone who should be serving in the military?
Well, that's just a name that has been given. I mean,
it's not. It's a real definition. There's real concerns about extremism.
So if you're going to do away with most white people in this country out of the military, we got huge problems.
It's not.
Huge problems.
It's not people who are white. It's white nationalists
that have a few probably different beliefs.
Right?
That have different beliefs. Now, if racism is one of those beliefs, I'm totally against it. I am totally against racism.
But
there's a lot of people that believe in different things.
Is racist, Senator?
Well, that's your opinion. That's your opinion. But if it's racism, I'm totally against it. I am totally against any type of race, or any type of racism. I don't care what it's in.
Okay, Senator Tommy Tuberville.
It is not someone's opinion that white nationalists are white supremacists and racists. It is denotatively correct. It is the dictionary definition of white supremacy, which, here we go, he was cornered on Capitol Hill, got real aggressive with the reporter asking him questions, and he wanted to define what it was, as though he doesn't know, as though he's not a United States senator. He's not in charge of voting on policy that would deal with the scourge of racism and white supremacy and white nationalism in this country. Watch this moment from just hours ago on Capitol Hill.
Explain why you continue to insist that white nationalists are American.
Listen, I'm totally against racism. And if the Democrats want to say that white nationalists are racist, I'm totally against that too.
But that's not a Democratic definition. The definition of a white nationalist
Well,
is
that's your
someone...
definition. My definition
It is the
racism
definition.
bad.
The
Next
definition,
question.
the
Next
definition,
question.
the definition
Next
is that
question.
the
Next
belief
question.
that the white race is
Racism
superior to all other
racism's
races.
Totally out of the question.
So do you
Next
believe that
question.
white nationalists are racist?
Yes, if that's what a racist is, yes. Thank you.
But that is the definition.
I'm totally against racism. Totally against racism. Listen, aren't you seeing my lips move? Aren't you hearing me say I'm totally against racism? In the clip earlier, I think he said 110%. Impossible. But let's go. Let's go to Merriam-Webster. The definition of white nationalism. One of a group of militant white people who espouse white supremacy, see white supremacy, and advocate enforced racial segregation. The definition. And then if you click on that and go to the definition of white supremacy, just so we can button this all up, Tommy Tuberville, the belief that the white race is inherently superior to other races and that white people should have control over people of other races, or in the larger systemic view of the word, the social, economic, and political systems that collectively enable white people to maintain power over people of other races. Does that clear that up for you, Tommy Tuberville? Because the belief that the white race is inherently superior to other races and that white people should have control over people of other races, that doesn't seem like, well, they're just sounds like Americans to me. Sounds like somebody who should be serving in the military to me. Sounds like somebody who should work their way up the ranks, getting greater and greater authority over others, and then have people of color under their command. Is that what you're saying, Tommy? Never served a day in his life, Tuberville? Is that what you're saying? Ghouls. Why trip all over yourself to defend white nationalists and white nationalism if you're not in league with them? I'll wait for the answer. If you happen to have the answer, you can leave a comment below, or you can call and leave me a brief voicemail, 714-576-4054. Of course, you can email me daily@dollemore.com. Again, please subscribe. I would love to have you to join the growing audience of truth seekers, of truth appreciators. How about that? And if you'd like to take your support a level further and you'd like to support my work and produce my work, click the join button below. Become a channel member for $1.99 a month. Click the super thanks button or go over to patreon.com/IDoubtIt podcast. Anyway, I hope to see you on social media. I'm at Dollemore, and I will see you next time. Be genuine. Take care of one another.